Hey YouTube, what's up? It's your girl Sherelle, and if you are tuning in for the very first time, my name is Sherelle, and I am a newcomer to these YouTube streets. And be sure to subscribe to my channel, like my video, share it on all your social media sites, comment down below about this review that I'm about to do. The review I'm about to do is Greenleaf, so y'all already see it in the title. Let's get to it. So we open up with Jacob at the storage, going through what's his name stuff, and he's going through paperwork, and then he comes across a fishing box and a fishing pole, and he takes it with him and he leaves. Now let's skirt past that. We go to the hospital with Sophie and Grace, and we find out that AJ is going to be fine. He didn't kill himself. So the doctor is letting her know, and the doctor all of a sudden is like, is that his girlfriend? She was like, no, that's his sister. I don't understand why that's any of the doctor business, who Sophie was, but anywho, I digress. But yes, we find out that AJ is doing just fine. He doesn't want to see anybody because he's ashamed of trying to kill himself. And the doctor is basically telling Grace, look, go home. We will do some talking. He doesn't want to see anyone. And she's just like, okay, whatever. Now let's skirt past that. We move along to Bishop and Lady Mae back at the Greenleaf estate. And Bishop is pressuring Lady Mae, like, look, are we going down to the courthouse to get married? And Lady Mae's like, we can't get married because our grandson is in the hospital. We just had this chain ball and wreck, and, it just wouldn't feel right to get married now. I will eat something. We will get married when God gives me a sign to do so. And lo and behold, Grace and Sophie comes in, and Bishop, Grace, Sophie, they're all asking how AJ is doing, and they're like, oh, he's fine. He's just going to pull through. He doesn't want to see anyone. And that's that. So we move on to Charity and Grace. Charity, like, Grace is giving Charity, of course, the cold shoulder, and Lady Mae is too, because they're still mad. They feel like you betrayed the family. You gave our legacy away because you're just a stupid Judas. Like, Lady Mae was like your hero in the Bible. You're just like your hero in the Bible. And she's like, who, Naomi? And she's like, no, Judas, dummy. And the bishop kind of agrees with Lady Mae. Like, Charity, I kind of agree with her. And now she's feeling some type of way because Papa, who always agrees with her and who always has her back, is now agreeing with Lady Mae. And she's just like, oh my gosh, I can't take. So Charity and Grace sit down, and Charity's like to Grace, can I talk to you? She's like, about what? She was like, just listen. So Charity comes in there, gives Grace a letter that she wrote to her dying twin baby girl at the time, who was dying. So Charity decided to write her a letter. She said, I lost a child too. And Grace, out of nowhere, just snapped on her. Like, she said, you and I don't have the same situation. And my child is alive. My child tried to commit suicide. And I think Grace was mad at the simple fact that, you're trying to make this situation about you. You get what I'm saying? I don't trust you. Okay? I get where Grace is coming from. I don't trust you. You tried to have my child thrown in jail. And now you're coming telling me about your dead child. My child isn't dead. my child committed suicide. And now you're trying to make this about yourself. So Charity, she's like, what Grace Base says to Charity, you always try to make things about you, which kind of Charity she does. She's that type of person that's always thriving. She wants and needs attention. And yeah, like, she's not that bright, but she's one of those people that will do anything for attention. And Lady May and everyone else knows that about her. I think I know one or two people like that too. And it's an annoying trait. And I guess that's why Lady May and the rest of them are being so harsh with her. So she can basically get the picture of, you're desperate for attention. You're not that bright. And that's not nice to say, but it's the truth. So, Lady May is, Lady May and Grace is being very short with her. And, Lady May is just not here for Charity. Grace is not here for Charity. Grace basically tells her, like, look, what kind of person are you to make this situation about you? Here I am, almost lost the child. And all you can do is make this about you. Have you lost your mind? So Charity gets mad, snatches the letter, and walk off and said, you and Mama both deserve each other. Oh, really, Charity? Girl, you ain't that bright. Go on about your business. Lady May and Charity, Lady May and Grace have every reason to feel the way they feel towards you, because you are the reason why all this havoc has occurred. Bottom line. You got to understand where they're coming from, Charity girl. They mad with you. They ain't trying to feel you. I wouldn't feel you either. You screwed the family over for your own emotional reason. And look where it got you. See what happens when your emotions get out of whack? Nope, people. Get them emotions intact, because when you do, emotional things, it takes you down the wrong road. But let's skirt past that. So we move on to Zora and Clarissa. So they're sitting there folding laundry, I guess bonding, doing the mother and daughter thing, bonding. And Zora is telling Clarissa, all Nikki can do is talk about Dante. And I'm sick of hearing it. One minute they're talking, the next minute they're arguing, and this, that, and the fourth. And, Clarissa is basically laughing. And let's go past that. We ain't got time. I don't want to talk about Clarissa and Zora, because Clarissa is a piece of work, and Zora, we gonna see what type of cousin she really is after I get done, when we see next week's episode. But we'll get down the road to that. So let's skirt past that. So Grace calls Silver Fox, aka Darius. That's his name, but if that's not his name, we're just gonna stick with Silver Fox, aka Rick Fox, Darius. So she's on the phone with him, basically telling him, like, look, my son just tried to kill himself. And he was like, look, I'm so sorry to hear that, yada yada yada, but we need to meet up at that pastor's house, at that one house, so we can try to get some information from him, basically. And they're like, Grace is like, okay, we can do that, and let's go past that. So let's go on to Sophie. No, not Sophie, not just yet. Silver Fox and Grace meeting up, and they're meeting at the pastor house. And, Pastor Kyle, I believe his name is. They're trying to get information from him regarding Bob in the church. They're basically trying to get information to see if they can try to save the church or expose Bob and get the church back, yada, yada, yada. But Kyle is not budging. When I say he ain't budging, he slammed the door on them like, look, Bob told us pastors not to say anything to nobody. Don't talk to nobody, no nothing. I'm not talking. So Grace, you need to go on about your business. And he's very short with her, very snotty and nasty, and slams the door in her face. Now, let's move on to Sophie calling Dante, leaving an awkward message. Now, Sophie, didn't you tell him not to call you? Things take time to work out. Now you're calling him with this awkward message. Well, you don't even really know. Well, he was your first. And we all know that when someone's your first, even though it may not be good or good, but it's your first, you kind of go a little crazy. So I guess this is, since Dante is Sophie's first, he's going crazy. And he hasn't called her back. He hasn't answered her call. Nothing. He's just, Okay, so she calls, leave him a message saying, call me or don't call me. And it was just really awkward. I felt kind of bad for her because you could tell, like, it's her first, getting some, and she kind of a little bit crazy over it. So let's skirt past that and move on to Lady May and Bishop trying to find a church. And the bishop brings Lady May to her sister church. I forget her sister name, and I don't understand how I can forget her sister name. Well, we just gonna say Oprah's old jute joint or whatever it is. And Lady May was like, look, if you want this to be our church, you are going to have to probably knock it down and reconstruct this whole thing. That's the only way you would get me to do this, okay? Because you either going to knock it down with a chain and ball, or this ain't going to happen. Hello. But we all know why she says that, because she's not on good terms. But initially, Mavis, that's her sister name, Mavis left the property to Grace, and now the bishop wants to use the property to start the new church, and Lady May wants him to tear everything apart and rebuild it over. And it's a good start, but I think Lady May is scared about starting over. But sometimes, you have to start certain things over. Sometimes you have to start from restart, and you never know what may come of it, Lady May. So I think, start the church, knock it down, Bishop, and redo it, and let's see where it goes from there. Okay, so let's move on to Charity and the handsome demon, aka Phil. So Charity comes in to her office, what used to be her office, but is no longer her office. She comes in there to see that her stuff is put in a box. The office is being painted over, and basically they're telling her, well, Judy, aka Judas, is having it paint over. Now she has it paint over pink, and I don't understand, if y'all knocking the church down, why are you painting it over Judy, aka Judas? You're just doing that to make a mark and to piss Charity off and tell her, oh, I'm in charge. I'm the lady up in here, first lady, and I'm making some changes. Look at me, witch. Yeah, we see what you're trying to do, Judy, aka Judas. So she storms in Phil's office and basically gives him a piece of her mind. And he was like, look, she's the first lady, and she's like, what are you doing giving my office away? And feels like, well, she's the first lady. And she's like, that doesn't even make sense. We're about to leave here in a whole nother week. And she wants to paint it and take me out of my office. So she gets mad and smacks the stuff off of his desk. Yeah. And walks out. Charity, you're going to have to get you some clothes too that fit you right. You might want to get a bigger dress. I noticed that about you too. That dress you had on was a little bit too snug. So, down at the old network, get Charity a bigger size dress or make her lose. No, I ain't even going to say that. I ain't even going to say make her lose weight to get into the dress, but get her the next size. If she wants to lose weight, she can lose weight. If she don't, she ain't got to. But let's move past the handsome demon and Grace. Yeah. So we move on to Grace and her baby daddy down at the hospital, and he shows up hugging. Oh my God, Grace, I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. This is such a wrong thing to have to go through. And, I'm just, how is he? I want us to be a family and this, that, and the fourth. And Grace just looking like, okay, doing too much. So they get to talking, and she's basically saying he's stable, but he doesn't want to see neither one of us, and yada yada yada. And he's basically telling her the scenario with him and his wife to be, what was his going to be his wife to be. And he's basically telling her he's moving back home with his mother until he finds a place of his own, which I feel like that marriage didn't stand a chance because he was never over Grace. And his wife or whatever, whoever she is, she already had insecurities. So to me, in my honest opinion, that marriage was doomed. It was not built on a solid foundation. It was like he loved Grace and it was doomed. And he's still in some sort of way still sweet on Grace and still want her. And if she snapped her fingers and said, hey, come here, he'd be with her in a heartbeat. And her, AJ, and him would be some sort of crazy dysfunctional family. So let's move past that. We got Jacob and Clarissa who are at the office, and Clarissa is a piece of work. And Jacob, I don't know why you haven't yet went and told your mama and your daddy what this hussy was trying to do so they can get her in line. See, you another one that ain't bright. You and Charity, Mike and Ike, not bright. Okay? I'm going to need you to tell your daddy, Jacob, tell Lady May, Jacob, go on in there and tell them what they need to know so they can get this heifer in line. This Judas over here. You know what had me cracking up? I'm going to tell you when he told her. Yeah, are you taking your slut medication? Why she gotta be a slut? I know she gave you an STD, but why you gotta call it slut medication? Like, that was hilarious. But they're down at the lawyer's office, and Clarissa basically wants full custody of their son. And he was like, no, I want partial custody too. And the lawyer's looking like, I thought this was an agreement, like this was settled, like, what is he talking about? And so Jacob looks up and Clarissa looks at him, and he just starts signing away just to go along with her BS, because she threatened him. If you don't give me what I want in this divorce, then I'm gonna go down to the police and I'm gonna tell them about this will, and your father gonna be in jail for a very long time. Now let's skirt past that. We get to Grace, AJ, father again, and they're having a talk. And, you know, they're back at the hospital and they're talking and waiting on to see AJ and get his, status. Maybe he changed his mind. He wanted to see them. So baby daddy take it upon himself to get some to start talking greasy to Grace. And Grace looked at him like, take it back. Take that back what you said. Because she was basically saying, I've been here for 3 years and I still feel like an outsider. Basically telling him that. He was like, well, you're not that family orientated, Grace. And she had to tell him, like, oh no, you getting beside yourself. I've been here for this boy and now you just coming into the picture. I told you about him and now you're just coming into the picture and you think it's A-okay for you to say what you said. Take it back. Oh, and baby daddy, you better take it back. Otherwise, you'll be laying where her uncle is laying. Okay? And he knew. He was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'll take it back. Take it back. Take it back. You're going to be laying next to my uncle. You keep on playing with me, I'm going to take it back. That's right, Grace. Tell him. Take it back. So he takes it back. He backs off. You better back off. So let's move past that. So we move to Zora and Sophie. And Sophie comes over and asks Zora, hey, do you have that drive with the music on? And she's like, well, she's being all nasty with Sophie. She was like, well, what do you want it for? I'm not talking to you. I'm not dealing with you. I don't want to deal with you. And she's like, well, is Nikki around? She was like, no, Nikki ain't around. Why are you worried about Nikki? And she's like, well, I want to give it to AJ. I want to give the music to him. And she's like, look, could you stop being mad at me, and this, that, and the fourth. I just found out the guy that I like and the guy that I really care about, I lost my virginity to, and now he's moving back. He's getting back with his ex. So light bulb goes off and Zora messy behind. She was like, well, the flash drive is there and maybe we should continue to talk and gossip about certain things. So you had sex with Dante. Oh, goody, you're not a saint anymore because you went and did it. So now me and you are on the same page. You're not so much of a saint, Sophie. Oh, now you want to talk to her. Now you want to talk to her because you feel like you got something to gossip. What you gonna do? You gonna go back and tell Nikki? Girl, boom. Kind of cousin are you? So we move back. So we not move back. We're moving past that whole scene right there. So we move back to the church with Charity and the handsome demon, aka Phil. And let's just get on into it. Judy, aka Judas, comes in the office. She kisses Phil. Now, if you kiss a man and he's just straight looking across next to the other woman, Judy, clearly that man is still in love with Charity. He didn't flinch. He didn't kiss her back or anything. That's what lets me know that, he still wants Charity. He still loves Charity. He's just doing this to get his position, and clearly she got him by the you-know-what. Judy, aka Judas, got handsome demon by the you-know-what. Clearly. And she's too crazy that she can't see it. As long as she got him, that's all that matters. And Charity proceeds to tell her, like, look, the only reason why he with you is because your daddy forced him and told him he needed to be with you because he wanted this position as pastor. And Judas, aka Judy, basically hits her with a scripture and basically telling her to move on. Oh well, anywho. And she walks out. And she said, Charity looks at Phil and says, well, you sure do got you a good Christian woman. and start switching out the office. But Charity, you ain't won nothing. Because she read you to filth. Gave you a scripture basically saying Proverbs something, Proverbs 22:16 or Proverbs 20:16. How a woman, never responds to insults and they just move the F on or something like that. I was just like, oh girl, she got you with that. Ooh, she cut you up. Oh, she wholly cut you up. Seriously, she got you. Charity, you just don't realize you've been defeated. Live to fight another day if you got any more fight in you. Go on about your business. But anywho, let's skirt past that. So Bishop is trying to call Mavis and get her permission to use the establishment for his new church. Let's skirt past that. We go to Lady May and Grace, and they're talking, and Lady May is basically, saying how she went to Faith's grave and how you got a second chance with AJ because he's still here, and hopefully when I get to heaven, me and Faith will be able to embrace one another, which was so deep. And yeah, they were basically talking and basically bonding, and lo and behold, Charity comes in and she's asking how can she make it better, and they just looking at her like, we ain't beat for you, go on about your business. Now let's move on to Zora and Charity and Clarissa, and they're coming back, I guess, from the lawyer's office, and Zora like, I know y'all getting a divorce, I'm not stupid. And Clarissa's like, look, one day you will have a family of your own. You'll understand what we're doing, why we did what we did. But she's like, I know it's you, Dad. You've been cheating again. And he's like, look, watch your tone. Jacob, your kids and your wife don't respect you. They don't. Go on about your business. They don't listen to you. Because you don't make them listen. Because you lost the respect because you cheated on Clarissa so many times. But Clarissa, I can understand. I ain't even going to say I can understand why he cheated, because that would be a mean thing to say. But bottom line, you and Clarissa is not good for each other. That's another marriage that was doomed from the beginning, because Lady May made you marry her because she felt like she was, look, marry her. Bottom line. Anywho, let's skirt past that. So, let's see here. We have Sophie and Grace, and they basically want to, hold on, y'all, one second. Oh God. Sorry, I was looking for something. So they basically, Sophie says to Grace, Mom, I want to give this music to AJ because I remember when I was in the hospital and Zora gave me this music. So I feel like it would be uplifting to him. So I want to give it to him. So let's skirt past that. And we go to Bishop and Lady May, and they're talking. And they're basically in this kind of weird conversation about the wedding and when they want to get married. And I think they were saying July 14th or June 14th, Flag Day. And it's just some sort of weird energy. And Bishop is like, okay, I'm going to write this down. I'm going to mark this down on every calendar in the house. And I'm just so happy and excited about it. Now let's move past that. We get to Sophie calling Dante back again. And lo and behold, who picks up his phone? Nikki. The she-devil. She's like, no, this ain't. And Sophia like, Dante? And she's like, no, this ain't no Dante. And hangs up. Okay, let's move past that. So we got Jacob and his son. They're out fishing. And Jacob is talking to his son, like, listen, don't worry about me and mommy. Whatever happens between us, we're going to be okay. So he's fishing with his son with the same fishing box and the same rod that he found in Max, I guess, storage. And he's going through the fishing box and he finds the other will. And he starts reading it. So let's move past that. So we go to Jake, not, oh my God. Y'all gotta bear with me. There's so much going on today. We go to Zora and Sophie. And Sophie says, Zora says to Sophie, did you send Dante some boob pictures? She was like, no. Well, and so what if I did? She was like, it's not your business. She said, well, girl, it's everybody's business because it's on social media. Now we know how in the world it got on there. Because Nikki was the last one with his phone. So now, Nikki done uploaded the pictures of poor Sophie because she feels like I'm going to embarrass her and Dante ain't going to want her anymore. But see, Nikki, two things can work. You embarrass that girl and Dante sees you for your true colors, or and Zora see you for your true colors, or Dante, he's just as bad as you and he was okay with you doing something like that, and y'all deserve each other. You a she-devil and he's a heathen, and you both deserve each other. But girl, it can either go either way, and we shall see on next episode. Now, moving past that, Grace gets a call from who other than Pastor Kyle. Pastor Kyle done called Grace up and told her the information she need of the person she needed. I forget the name. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. But Pastor Kyle tells Grace the name. And then Bishop, we have Bishop in the next scene listening to music. Now, from my understanding, a lot of people thinking Bishop might be getting killed off this season because it's the last season. And that's why he's listening to the music. That's why Lady May is doing everything that she's doing, but we shall see. I really hope Bishop doesn't get killed off, but I mean, everything would make sense why everything is happening the way it is. Like each episode, day 1, day 2, day 3, so we shall see. Now, last but not least, we have Jacob showing up to Tasha Skank's house. Jacob, you might as well get with Tasha Skanks because she's more your speed, and you guys would be a good couple together because she truly, truly loves you. I mean, for you, and you truly love her for her. So, And Tasha, Jacob asks for Spacey or whatever, and she's like, Jacob, Spacey is dead, and it goes off. So we will definitely see what happens next week, y'all, and I can't wait. I mean, each episode is picking up, and Greenleaf, I love this show. I'm sad that it only has 5 seasons because I feel like there is so much more stories that can be told and so much more that can be shown. But we just gotta wait until the end and go for the ride, y'all, and just go with the ride. That's all I can say. But that's my review for Greenleaf, second day, season 5. Until next time, see you, shugs.